An anxious mind feels loud, restless, and exhausting. Thoughts race ahead of reality, replay the past, and imagine dangers that do not yet exist. Stoicism begins by reminding us of a simple truth: the mind becomes anxious when it tries to control what it was never meant to control. The goal is not to silence the world, but to quiet your reaction to it. When you learn this distinction, calm stops being a temporary feeling and becomes a permanent skill. Stoic philosophy teaches that peace is not something you find outside yourself. It is something you practice internally, moment by moment. Anxiety thrives on resistance. The more you fight your thoughts, the louder they become. The Stoics did not wrestle their minds into silence. They trained them to observe without panic, to respond without fear, and to accept without surrendering strength. This is why their methods still work today, even in a noisy modern world. The anxious mind believes every thought deserves attention. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Most thoughts are just mental noise. They arrive uninvited, exaggerate danger, and disappear when ignored. You do not need to chase them, argue with them, or obey them. You only need to recognize them for what they are. When you stop treating every thought as urgent, anxiety begins to lose its power. A Stoic does not ask, "Why am I anxious?" They ask, "What part of this is under my control?" This single question can quiet the mind faster than any distraction. You cannot control the future. You cannot control other people. You cannot control random events. But you can control your judgments, your actions, and your response. Anxiety fades when attention shifts back to what is truly yours. The Stoics understood that fear is fueled by imagination, not reality. Most of what you worry about never happens. And when something difficult does happen, it is rarely as unbearable as the mind predicted. Anxiety borrows suffering from the future. Stoicism returns you to the present. Right now, in this moment, you are breathing. You are alive. And you are capable of responding wisely. A quiet mind is not an empty mind. It is a disciplined one. Stoic calm comes from mental order, not mental escape. Instead of trying to suppress anxiety, Stoicism teaches you to sit with discomfort without adding fear to it. When you stop labeling sensations as threats, the body relaxes. Calm follows naturally. This is why Stoicism works every time. It does not depend on motivation, mood, or perfect conditions. It depends on practice. Each time anxiety appears, you are given an opportunity to train your mind. Each moment of discomfort becomes a lesson instead of a setback. Over time, the mind learns that panic is unnecessary. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is negative visualization. Instead of fearing loss, you calmly acknowledge that change is part of life. This removes the shock factor from hardship. When the mind is no longer surprised by difficulty, anxiety has less ground to stand on. Acceptance is not weakness. It is preparedness. Another Stoic principle is voluntary discomfort. By occasionally choosing small challenges, you teach your mind resilience. Cold showers, silence, delayed gratification. These practices strengthen your tolerance for unease. Anxiety weakens when the mind learns that discomfort is survivable and temporary. If this perspective is helping you, take a moment now to subscribe to this channel. You'll get more Stoic wisdom, practical philosophy, and mental strength tools to help you stay calm in any situation. Subscribe now and train your mind daily. The Stoics also warned against living in constant anticipation. Waiting for the next problem is a form of self-inflicted suffering. Peace comes from handling what is in front of you, not rehearsing what might come. When you return your attention to the present task, anxiety loosens its grip. Your mind becomes quiet when your values are clear. Stoicism teaches you to focus on character over outcome. When your goal is to act with wisdom, courage, and self-control, fear of results fades. You can do your best and accept whatever follows. This mindset frees you from constant tension. An anxious mind is often a tired mind. Stoics respected rest, reflection, and simplicity. Too much stimulation clouds judgment. Too much noise creates inner chaos. A calm life supports a calm mind. Reduce unnecessary inputs. Protect your attention. Silence is not empty. It is restorative. The Stoic path does not promise a life without challenges. It promises a mind strong enough to meet them. Anxiety fades not because life becomes easier, but because you become steadier. This is real confidence, quiet, grounded, and unshaken. Stay with this channel if you want to keep building that kind of inner strength. Subscribe and make Stoic calm part of your daily life. A quiet mind begins with self-command. The Stoics believed that true power is not domination over others, but mastery over one's inner world. Anxiety feels powerful only when the mind feels powerless. The moment you reclaim authority over your judgments, anxiety weakens. You may not control what happens, but you always control how you interpret it. This shift alone changes everything. The Stoic does not ask for comfort. They ask for clarity. Anxiety clouds perception, making small problems feel enormous. Clarity restores proportion. When you pause and ask, is this truly unbearable, or merely uncomfortable? The illusion breaks. Most fears collapse under honest inspection. Calm returns not because the situation changed, but because the mind stopped exaggerating it. Stoicism teaches emotional regulation through reason, not suppression. You are allowed to feel fear, tension, or uncertainty. What you are not required to do is panic. When anxiety rises, observe it like a passing storm. Do not chase it. Do not resist it, let it move through you. Resistance feeds anxiety. Observation starves it. One reason anxiety persists is because the mind confuses preparation with worry. Stoics prepared deliberately, then released the outcome. Worry is preparation without action. Once you have done what is within your power, continued anxiety serves no purpose. Learn to separate effort from obsession. Do your duty, then let go. The anxious mind constantly seeks reassurance. Stoicism teaches self-trust instead. When you trust your ability to respond wisely, fear of uncertainty fades. You stop asking, what if something goes wrong? And start knowing, if it does, I will handle it. This confidence quiets the nervous system at its core. Another Stoic practice is journaling. Writing clarifies thought. Anxiety thrives in vague mental loops. When you put worries on paper, they lose intensity. You see patterns, exaggerations, and false assumptions. What was once overwhelming becomes manageable. The Stoics wrote daily not to complain, but to refine the mind. Comparison is another source of mental noise. Stoicism rejects measuring your life against others. Every mind has its own path, pace, and struggles. When you stop comparing, anxiety decreases. Peace grows when your focus turns inward, toward progress instead of approval. The Stoics also warned against over-identifying with thoughts. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts are events in the mind, not commands. When anxiety speaks, you do not have to obey. You can listen, evaluate, and choose a response. This distance creates calm. Breath is a powerful ally. While Stoicism is philosophical, it aligns naturally with controlled breathing. Slow, steady breaths signal safety to the body. When the body calms, the mind follows. Even the most rational mind needs physiological balance. Calm is both mental and physical. If you're finding value here, make sure you're subscribed. This channel exists to help you build emotional control, mental resilience, and stoic calm in a chaotic world. Subscribe now and grow stronger every day. The Stoics believed anxiety is often a sign of misplaced values. When we care too much about things beyond our control, the mind suffers. When we care deeply about virtue and effort, the mind steadies. Shift your priorities, and peace follows. Silence is another underestimated Stoic tool. Spend time alone without stimulation. Let the mind settle. At first, anxiety may rise. This is normal. Stillness reveals what noise has been hiding. Stay with it. The mind learns to quiet itself when given space. Stoicism does not promise instant peace, but it promises lasting strength. Each time you apply these principles, the anxious mind weakens. Over time, calm becomes your default state, not a rare experience. Your mind was never meant to be chaotic. It was meant to be trained. And with Stoicism, it can be trained.